Okay. Let's make sure this is actually streaming. Yes, okay, great. Alright. Hey guys, Concentric here. Back playing more Valheim. You might notice things are a little different from the last time I was playing. That's because I did a little bit of off-stream grunt work. Nothing exciting, I promise. I literally sailed home. I didn't even take anything home with me or drop anything off. I grabbed some materials to build little bits of furniture, things like that. I also went and grabbed my other mage set. So I have my other mage set here, which I should actually fully line this up here. Yeah, so I got my other mage set here. And then I also grabbed the bells that I had accumulated from wandering in the Ashlands. And I've come to a conclusion. And that conclusion is that I just want to, I think, go ahead and wrap up Valheim. And I'm going to pause here. I'm going to explain why. So if you've been following the playthrough, you know that I've had lots of big plans on things to build and, collecting all the different armors and weapons and doing all these things. And I still would really like to do that. There's part of me that really wants to do that. But unfortunately, last couple of days, I've really been thinking about it, really the last week or so, if not more, but the last couple of days in particular. I've been thinking about it, and I decided that Ashland sucks. And I don't really like it. I don't like playing it. It has undermined the enjoyment I had in the game. I'm not sure how it's done it so much more effectively than every other zone, but every other zone felt like it had sort of a way forward. It had a learning curve that was surmountable, and I'm not saying Ashlands doesn't have one, but it just feels like it takes so much more effort and investment than I'm maybe willing to give. It feels like it's dramatically more than any other zone in the game has demanded, if it's not just outright sort of pigeonholing you into playing a certain way or in a certain style. And I don't really like that at all, and that just kind of feels like shit. That's kind of the bottom line, is that I'm not really enjoying playing through it. So I still love the rest of the game. It just really feels like Ashlands has been a bit of a letdown. So I don't much like cats are in an interesting predicament. The missus is now bullying the cats. Incredible. Yeah, he loves it. Alright, shoot. Anyways, yeah, everything from sailing to, combat to exploration to just existing in the Ashlands just feels significantly more annoying. And I understand that that's partially due to the challenge that I've put up myself. I know that no portals and no map is going to make that more difficult. That's just a fact of life. Up until now, no other zone has really had that same problem. I mean, I went through Mistlands, which is, objectively disgusting with no map, because you literally cannot see. And there were some moments of frustration, but it was never, it never really broke through like that, I guess. Anyways, I'm rambling on, being lost in the weeds. My point being, Ashlands isn't fun, and it's sort of killed my motivation to play the game. That's the bottom line. However, I still want to attempt to fight and beat the last boss, so that's what I'm going to do. I've got all the things prepped. I did like 3.5 hours of sailing off camera, because it was literally just me sailing back and forth to bring over some supplies so that I can have a slightly better rested bonus, as well as some extra gear sets. So yeah, we're just gonna give it a swing. And you know what? Maybe it's gonna suck, and maybe I won't even kill the boss. Who knows? Who knows? Certainly not me. But we're gonna try. I'm gonna be attempting to do it as a mage. Mage just seems like it's the best way to do things at this given moment. I am doing it with the Asvin cape. Maybe Valheim can't see shite cap. Indeed. Just the way we like it. You just missed my rambling rant as to what I'm going to be doing today. But to sum it up for you, I'm going to fight the boss. I'm going to fight the boss, and I'm just going to attempt to end the game. Because after a few days of deliberation, and maybe a week or more of consideration, but that's what I'm going to do, so. I only did go on the long stream. I think I went for 21 hours, 22 hours, something like that. I didn't go the full 24. So, but I decided I was just completely fading. I switched over to Valorant, and that was going kind of shit. And I was like, you know what? Let's just wrap it up. What do I get out of dragging it out, you know? Hoping those guys would get shielded, but I guess maybe not. Alright. Here we go. Trying to control more summons. Curious. So there's a hole somewhere, most likely. Oh. Huh. Oh. Thank goodness for the shield. The roar does meteors, but it does not seem to do the tracking meteors. Wow. Ooh. I don't know what that is. Ah, okay. It's like a delayed thing. Cool. Oh, meteors? Okay, they do track a little, I think. Oh my god, he's wrecked the arena. Where is he gone? Hello? Just leave? Hello? Oh, there he is. Boss pieced out. Oh shit. Oh shit. Well, these like, yeah, these track just a little. It's not horrible though. Just drink one of these. positioning here. Does he get... Oh yeah, he does. Okay, so he's actually hurts like other stray enemies. That's good to know. Ooh. I don't actually know that I need a sprint during that. Maybe just like a little sprinting as a treat. God, the frame rate. He's attacking my frame rate directly. Those are cheap here. Oh yeah. Oh, he's not really taking a whole lot of damage. Okay. Actually, maybe Ice Staff is the way to go. Turning while he shoots, it's crazy. There's like a swipe and slam. Oh, interesting. Ouch. Oh no. Oh, I forgot to drink my fire resist potion. Oops. May have been a slight miscalculation on my part. Alright, so I'm noticing one thing though, and that is, I want to bring this, let's bring Dunder, actually. Do I not have a spare hammer anywhere? Oh, I do, okay. Might be a little bit gnarly trying to get my ship back, but... Just don't notice me if you don't mind. Oh, okay. Keep a better, for one thing, a better distance on him. But it again, satisfactory, not terribly far. It was a pretty lackluster stream. Honestly, I think I'm gonna start again. I know it's probably a terrible waste of time, but I feel like there's so much I know now that I should be doing better. And it's hard for me to just ignore that, you know, and keep going with what I've already done. big meaty hits there. That was really good. Oh. God. Oh no, he's doing summons. Hopefully he just destroys those as well. Or I hope they're like super duper weak. Okay. Does not seem to be destroying them, but they are super weak. That I think I can put up with. Let's die. I don't wanna. I mean, I already did once. You missed one death, but. Oh wow. That is a bad sight to behold. I need this guy to not be on me right now. It's on my ass. Ooh. What? Yeah, no. I died once. I think both the trolls have perished immediately. clip it so I can see. I'll try to make a point to you. Where's this guy going? Lay off the AoEs for a minute. Hopefully these guys just get... The regular enemies just get fucking cooked. So I assume this boss is supposed to be fodder? Fader? Like, opposite of looter is fodder? I mean, he is dragon-esque, so... my assumption is correct. good I don't get rested anymore. Yeah, now I really gotta start going down. Where's bro going? There we go. Oh. The snoozer. Hello? Are you leading? What's happening? Shit. Made a slight miscalculation. Refresh the shield. I think they rooted him in place. Out of my stamina region potions. Lingering stamina potions. Poor bro getting involved, look. Preserve some stamina. Just a touch. No, we don't need it all for that. Years. So tempting to just hammer the sprint there. Oh yeah, we got him. We got him. Get him. Get him, Hentai boys. Get him. Hey. Don't fucking die to stragglers, please God. God. Okay. Actually wasn't that bad. Mage sort of carried me through that. Yeah, you got to. I have the missus watching from the sidelines. Alright, I turned off my auto pickup. Fader Relic, Fader Trophy. Mystical power we revealed another day. Definitely not a cop-out.
I wonder what sassy breed
Should've used Dunder more, but oh well. Phew. Good God. Yeah, trolls and hentai staff are kind of the goats there.
I'm sorry, what?
Trolls and hentai staff.
What?
Look. Hentai staff. Audible sigh. Ugh. Well. There we have it. I'm gonna run this head back, I guess. Mount it, and then I'm done. Fuck this playthrough. I'm out of here. I did my time. Ugh. Please. Please no, I've only just finished. Get him, boys. Good lads. Can I even make it in? But I can. Nope. There. Just one last time. Can't sleep at this time, right? Whatever. Yeah, I can't even take a snooze as my final act. I get my rest bonus and then a quick repair, and then I'm gonna start sailing home.
You're not gonna sail this one?
Huh?
You're not gonna sail this one?
No, I gotta go past home to get this one. So I'll just swing by home and I don't know, I probably won't even stop. There's really no point in stopping. And then one death.
One?
And yeah, and I think it's mainly because I forgot to drink my fire resist potion.
That's not terrible.
Yeah. It actually wasn't too bad.
What's it keep you summoned?
It takes 3 bells, and you have to find pieces of bells in when you assault the like keeps. Like that keep that I took over had 3 bell pieces in it, bell chunks. You gotta reform it into a single bell. It's fine, mostly. Huh? Yeah, no. Oh my god, please. I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to go home. Do you guys mind? You know what? I'll tell you what. Here, how about that? You guys with a parting gift.
I'll
Hmm?
give it to someone.
Troll staff. Or troll staff? Oh, I forgot to put on my strength belt again. There. Yeah, the trolls you summon aren't under your control, but they are very strong. Well,
Aren't under your control?
they aren't. So they can turn and kill you if there's nothing else around. Yeah. They also just fight everything else indiscriminately. Aside from other trolls, because you can summon up to 2. So,
Oh,
yep, yeah.
can you unsummon them?
Unsummon? No.
Unsummon.
It doesn't want me to leave.
Just copy it.
I beat your stupid boss, I'm leaving. Fuck the Ashlands. Fuck this place. No maps, no portal. It's been an honor. But I can't be bothered anymore. The Ashlands is an unbearable biome, at least with this particular set of rules. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I could have just chucked a portal down when I got here, but this is just not a fun biome to be in. That's my largest gripe, I think. Mistlands was fun to be in. Ashlands was not. Stop. Alright. Sail home. Getting manhandled. It's fine.
You really want to risk it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a narrow hill.
Yeah, well, this one should be fine. Mm-hmm. Okay. Being judged from the sidelines. No, you're more than welcome to stay.
I thought about it. He doesn't want me here.
I told you you're more than welcome to stay. Clowny Clown says bye, bye, goodbye. Yeah, she said bye, Bottabot. She's upset that I didn't say it the way that she said it. He said hello, Clowny Clown.
Autobot! Autobot's more welcoming than you are.
Yeah. Coming down from a stress high. Fighting fodder. Feeder? Fodder? Feeder fodder? Fodder? Fodder. Yeah. Oh. I'm glad that I decided to just do it. Yeah. I'm glad that I decided to do it. I'm glad that I decided to do the prep off cam too. Time to get my ass stuck in some rocks on the way out, on the way home. yeah, before stream, I spent like 3 hours just sailing back and forth. It was only, I mean, it was one trip. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, like, it's just gonna be boring to watch, and I've got really nothing to say. So I sailed back to base. I grabbed all materials to get a decent rested bonus. I got the spare mage set, which I didn't even end up using, but you know, neither here nor there. And then I just brought it all back. And that was it. And then we just came on, did the fight, and wrap it up there. And we get it back to spawn. And then probably, as is tradition, actually tradition, not even just the bit, I'll just go sit in my first home, contemplate life for a minute. Oh, well, overall, it's a little bit of a shame. I understand. I didn't really even achieve all the things that I wanted to do, which sucks. But I was at the point where Ashlands was so annoying to play that it was preventing me from wanting to stream. That's kind of the point that I got to. Which sucks. And I think it's like 80% Ashland's fault, 20% the settings. But because ultimately, I mean, I reached Ashlands and there was a pretty much everything you've learned to do and enjoy up until that point just kind of gets kneecapped. It feels like, which is a real damn shame. I mean, the melee combat just gets turned on its head with how many enemies and you know, how many strong enemies too that you're facing. Not to say you couldn't do melee, but it's just there's such an exceptional jump between what is required to do melee in Mistlands versus what is required to do melee in Ashlands. It's a cat just digging in a bed. Hold on a sec. Yeah, it felt like it was such an exceptional jump in difficulty overall, but also just what was required from certain playstyles. Prohibitively so, I would say. Which sucks, because, I mean, I enjoyed playing Mage, but it feels like it was kind of the only way to continue on without hating the gameplay. Poor Flash. He's he looks so interested though. He's like, what's going on there?
Is there fish? What kind of fish is that?
There are fish. He's a hungry boy. He's growing. Also, but a single fist weapon. That's true as well. Which part of me, I mean, it sucks that I lost the Fenrir set when I did. Because honestly, I feel like, I don't feel like the Aspen set was all that great. It was fine, I guess, but he is getting droopy. Poor Flash. Yeah, because honestly, I feel like I would have kept using the Fenrir set probably into Ashlands a good ways. And the fire resistance is kind of nice, and then I don't know. Yeah, I probably would have kept utilizing the fists for a while as well. But even then, I mean, even with the weapon that I would, you know, not to toot my own horn, I would say that I was pretty damn comfortable with. It was at a point where it was like I couldn't have done anything. you know, and that really sucks to feel like there's some play styles where you're just gonna run into a wall and you're not gonna be able to do anything anymore because there are just so many enemies at once and they deal so much damage that you literally cannot. I guess I could have just tried to pivot to like all heavy armor or something. Maybe that's what I maybe that's what I should have gone after. I don't know. But I didn't want to do heavy armor. I haven't done heavy armor really for like 95% of the playthrough, you know. The Aspen set, I got two-shotted on several occasions. Even with really great food and, you know, well, it's not a fully upgraded set, but mostly. You know, I'm sure there are things I could have done. I could have utilized dodge rolls more. I could have gone back to using like a sword and board, or you know, shield and something else. There's probably a dozen different things I could have tried, but again, I guess that's where, like I was saying, that's where that sort of significant jump in difficulty comes in. That it's a dramatic narrowing of the viable playstyles, simply because they wanted a biome that was significantly harder than everything before it. So, and that just sucked. It sucked because I didn't feel like I could have fun in Ashlands. I didn't feel like I could, you know, there was never a point that I reached where I was like, okay, I can kind of take it easy a little bit. Like, still be aware, but, you know, interact, chat, or just sort of hang out, or, you know. That just sucks, I guess. But yeah, it just sort of reached a culmination where I was like, this is a situation that is actively deterring me from streaming the game, because I loathe going into Ashlands and doing anything. And I've already set these goals of like getting all the armor, getting all the weapons, you know, sort of building a bunch and completing all this, and now it's just sort of starting to fall away because there's this insurmountable area. Just zone full of enemies. So just sort of looming as a dark cloud over my head. And I know I'm gonna have to face it eventually. So I said, you know what? We're just gonna throw it all to the wind. It sucks. It sucks that I'm not gonna be able to do all the things that I wanted to do. But it's better than feeling like you know, I don't want to stream or don't want to play Valheim. So, because I think ultimately, I would say prior to Ashlands, Valheim was like, it was up there. It was like a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10. Yeah. And then got to Ashlands and it dropped to like a 5 or a 6. And starts being work. Exactly. And streaming it up until that point has been a hell of a lot of fun. There's been great moments, and I enjoyed it exceptionally. And there's still things that I would love to do in Valheim, and I'm sure that I will come back and play it, probably in a more casual world setting, and you know, just really take my time with it a little bit more, even though I did sort of dick around a lot in this particular playthrough, but whatever. But for the time being, I'm just happy to be done with this. I'm happy to just say, you know what? I did it. I beat the boss. No maps, no portals. Woo! I mean, I didn't hold myself to a hard standard. I did, you know, admittedly, Super sent me a screenshot of like a tiny section of the map when I was sailing around Ashlands aimlessly for like 6 hours. He did throw me a bit of a bone there. So I won't try to... I'm not going to try to claim that I'm some sort of professional Valheim god or something. By and large, it was a crazy, enjoyable experience that I was trying to maybe do a little more than I should have. And I'm glad that I wrapped up. I'm glad that I decided to just go for it and do it. Also, yippee nighttime. What are you doing over there? Jesus. Just sprinting around and playing. Knocking shit over. But I'm sure that as time goes on, and it seems like the devs are at least somewhat aware of how overwhelmingly difficult Ashlands is. So I'm sure that they will, play with that and help sort that out. It seems like they've already made some changes in that direction. I'm personally, if the whole game had been as difficult as that, or had been ramping up to that a little bit better, I wouldn't have minded so much. It just really kind of feels like it comes out of nowhere. Like, there's certain aspects, and I can appreciate looking at the way certain enemies work and saying like, oh, okay, I see how that has now led into this, and I don't know, things like that. But sort of the other end of things, it really just felt like it came out of the blue. So I think this is the Black Forest where I've taken over a little tower. If it is, then I know where to go from here. I certainly hope it is. I also simultaneously, so I decided to just say fuck it. We'll go do the boss and call a run there. Simultaneously, I think once I melt that, I'm gonna flip the map and portals back on, and we'll just take a look at the whole thing and just see what was, what, I guess. I don't think I'm gonna try to preserve this map for Deep North. I think when that time comes, I will just play through and, explore things again, and we'll go through Deep North without no map, no portal settings enabled. Also, yes, that should be the tower there. I think I can actually sleep there, which I may as well. I think another thing is that sucked was the lag. The lag was really starting to, Portal-wise is the reason why Ashlands gives you access to a large stable portal that can move metal. Yeah. And that was part of it too. I'm like, I've got noted out the settings that I've got, my specific settings for no map, no portal, and the way I've done things. I've got no doubt that made things way harder than they needed to be at times. But ultimately, even coming back with like a full Askman set and... Oh my god. Coming back with the full Askman set and Thundering Berserker axes and, like just fully kitted out and having done all that, it still didn't reach a point where I was like even remotely feeling comfortable. I'm just gonna like die in the night here. Oh my god. Bugs in the night. Oops. Terrifying. But yeah, that's really what I think struck me is kind of disappointing or odd, because I feel like in every other biome, everything leading up to this was like you get to the new biome, they're using like, you know, mid or high tier stuff from the previous biome, and you get to the new one, and it's tough. Like you're really, you know, you got some struggling moments. You're learning new enemies. There's this massive learning curve and this sort of gearing up curve that you sort of rinse repeat throughout the entire game. Where, and then once you've sort of gotten, you know, to like the middle or high end of that curve for the zone maybe doesn't become a cakewalk per se. It's not, you know, I wouldn't say that you necessarily, like, it becomes easy. Maybe some of the earlier ones, but, you know, you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm fairly comfortable in this place, and like I don't have to watch my back at every possible second, and I can sort of, at least in my circumstance, I can stream and chat and whatever, and not feel like I have to focus on every second of every aspect of the game. You know, I was running around in Ashlands, and it was like, I've got to watch my fucking rested bonus. If my rested bonus runs out, I die. You know, if I have more than, you know, 2 large enemies on me or 1 large enemy on me, there's like a high chance I'm going to die. If I, you know, there was never a time where it sort of settled out a little bit, and I could say like, okay, it's tough, but like I'm not, you know, it is not a constant struggle. And that point never happened. Which was just sort of weird, and I don't know. I like feeling like I've conquered a zone, and I never got that feeling out of Ashlands. Which some people might say, well, yeah, Ashlands is meant to be hard, it's meant to be hellish and you know, full of enemies, and you're not meant to conquer it. And sure, maybe, but why does every other zone in the game feel like you have? You know, why has that been the standard? So, and maybe, I don't know, maybe that's just a flaw in my own thinking, but that was always such a moment of satisfaction for me. You know, you get to the mountains and kill your first couple of wolves, and, you know, get a wolf cape. You don't need frost resist potions anymore, and you find your first cave, and maybe get like a piece or two of the Fenris set, and, or maybe, you know, you mine your first silver vein and you get some silver armor and a couple silver weapons, whatever. And it's like you start sort of making your way up that curve, and there's still tough enemies. You know, you fight a stone golem, that never really gets that much easier unless you're a couple of zones ahead. But Ashlands, you get a full set of in-game gear. Maybe not like totally fully upgraded, but all the in-game stuff. Kitted up, wearing it, in-game food. And you feel like 10% stronger, maybe. Anyways, I feel like I'm just whining about it. It's not really my intent. I just think it needs some tweaking. It feels a little overtuned at the moment. So, and I know Valheim devs are glacially slow, but it seems like they at least understand that maybe those things need to be tweaked a little bit. So I look forward to them doing that, and I think I look forward to revisiting the game at some point. It might be post Deep North release. It might be a couple of months from now. I don't know. But I look forward to revisiting it regardless. So, because everything prior was phenomenal. I think they need to expand upon the gem system and make certain gems better. They need to change the motor power. They need to honestly, it felt like going into Mistlands and getting the Eider and stuff was really cool. Mistlands was honestly, I think, the highlight of progression for me, because it was just awesome and mysterious and just so much weirder than anything you'd really seen prior. But I think they regressed a little bit when they decided to make Flametal base items and then you augmenting them with gems. I really liked the named or special items that came with the Mistlands. And the fact also that they used like older metals and stuff. So like some of them used iron, some of them used silver, some of them used, black metal, whatever. I really liked that part, and reincorporating those and, sort of weaving the Eider in there. And giving you like these actual named, sort of interesting oddball weapons that just had a really amazing aesthetic to them. So that was cool. But I do like the gem system. I feel like they should maybe expand upon and fix that, and or reincorporate that in some way, perhaps. Maybe they could mesh the two together somehow, but or maybe just do the gem system. I don't know. Just felt weird having such specific and interesting weapons in the Mistlands, and then going into sort of generic weapons with variants in the Ashlands. Anyways, not to ramble too much. Just trying to encapsulate my thoughts on the trip back. So there's still a ways to go, though. There's still a couple things I didn't do, but like if they expand on vendors a bit more. Yeah, I agree. I think expanding on vendors a bit more. I think maybe even like adding new vendors might be cool to have like a Mistlands vendor or an Ashlands vendor, something like that. Maybe more quests or just items in general would be really interesting. I sort of liked the idea for was it Hildur or Haldur? The one that sells the clothes. Having to go on some level of quest for her to get her clothing stock restocked, I guess. Be cool if they could do other things like that, maybe. Sort of incentivize more interactions with them, rather than, oh, you've beaten the Iglyph? You can buy chickens now. or whatever, Like, it doesn't even say that you can do that, it just, yeah, he has chickens in stock now. Surprise. So... yeah, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, just general. There's a lot of suddenly chickens, exactly. I wish that there were more utility items. So like the strength belt. There's a strength belt. There's the wisp. There's the wishbone. That's pretty much all I can even think of. Right? It's just those three. Be cool if there were more of those, or perhaps more slots for things like that. It just generally feels like the strength belt is the best pick, which is fine. If they want to, if they want that to sort of be best in slot, but it may be cool to add like other slots or other things. I don't know. Imagine First Vendor having quests like clear X amount of trolls so you can get some bonus recipes. Yeah, that would be very cool. You like clear X amount of trolls, because he's, the Black Forest vendor. And then you get some troll-related recipe to make, I don't know, a troll dagger or something. Instead of like the copper dagger for Black Forest. Have it be like a cool new troll dagger that you could upgrade to. Or something like that. Or I don't know, add some variant to the troll armor. Just stuff like that, yeah, I think would be very cool. I totally agree. And they could even expand that. I mean, it doesn't even have to always be vendors per se. It could even be like, like all the dwarves and stuff in the Mistlands, constantly going on about the Gjall, and keep an eye out for the Gjall, and whatever. Give them some quests or something, or have like a quest giver of some kind there, or maybe its own vendor. You know, it just sort of seemed like there's a lot of bits of lore that they seem to want to hint at or sprinkle in. They don't really like. I don't know. They could do something with it. Modify troll armor to heavy plate. Yeah, there you go. 800 troll hides to get heavy troll plate. Eh? Eh? Yeah, just something to, yeah, give me things to do, I guess. Give me a little bit more guided, you know, or give me a reason to go out and hunt certain enemies. Give me a, because at some point when you've killed, you know, you've killed 10 trolls or whatever, you don't really need to kill anymore for the rest of the playthrough. Like, that's not even necessarily, actually, that might be enough to fully upgrade the set. If you don't include the cloak, but like, there's really no reason to make the cloak, but you know. So it's like having a reason to go back to certain zones and do certain things, or you know, have a purpose for your excess troll hide or bones or roots or crystals or whatever. That would be really cool. That would be, I think, a fine addition to the game. Fishing is so lackluster, yeah. Yeah, like I know there's like a couple of recipes, right? Isn't there like a couple of food recipes or something? But aside from that, there's really no point in doing it. I guess if you want like the fishing hat, but I think honestly, to be fair though, I think fishing's lackluster. I think weirdly sailing is lackluster. I mean, for the first while it's fun, and maybe it's just speaking from the point of like, you know, probably a third of this fucking playthrough was sailing. So maybe that's partially on me. They probably never intended for you to sail this much. Portal sailing is not as a pain. Yeah, I mean that is true, but I feel like, I guess here's my thought, and I want to be clear that I'm not saying this with the intent that sailing should be more of a chore or have more things going on. But it feels like sailing and Viking ships is such a core component of the game and its theme and the aesthetic that it feels, and I think I've said this in the past, it feels criminally underdeveloped. Sailing and the ocean. It just feels like there's nothing going on as you're sailing along. And I don't really know what that looks like, because I almost feel like I'm saying that, and it implies that there should be like, I don't know, like boat attacks or something, or deep sea humans, or I don't know, which maybe isn't really a direction I'm looking to go, but I feel like there could be something happening. There could be something going on. You know, I appreciate that portals can sort of alleviate the struggle and the frustration with like doing a bunch of sailing, but it ultimately feels like something that shouldn't need to be alleviated. It should just be an option, if that makes sense. And I don't know, maybe, you know, what the fuck do I know about games and game design? Ultimately, you know, there could be no great solution to that problem. I guess I should use the phrase problem loosely. But I don't know. It feels like they could do something with that. So. I will say it also kind of feels like the game is just loosely disjointed from each different thing. I mean, you go from meadows to black forest to swamp to, you know, mountain to plains to. I don't know. Maybe there's some logical or lore reason for that, but it never feels like it's made entirely clear. Like I don't need a quest giver standing there telling me all this stuff, but it feels like there should be a smoother smoother ramp or you know, sort of line of travel. But I guess that's partially because it's, you know, it's procedurally generated, whatever. It's gonna be random every time, so how do you reconcile those two things? But no, just lots of different thoughts on it. I'll be interested to see what changes they make. Guess I'm sure they're probably gonna release many more updates, tweaking things and changing things prior to and following the Deep North release. So I'm sure that'll be great. And I think that as long as they actually pay attention and listen, because I was you know, so frustrated about it. I looked up and just, like, you know, try to read other people's experiences. Not anything spoilery, but just to see what people thought about the Ashlands. And it seemed like it was kind of a mixed bag, but it was a pretty solid majority in saying something similar to me, in that it's incredibly hard, especially if you're trying to play melee. So, which I think is a damn shame, because I think melee is really, like, the combat in Valheim is not, it's not polished, it's not great. The melee combat is sort of like the core piece of gameplay. You know, that is probably half of what you're going to be doing. So it just feels weird that gets so gimped right at the tail end, at least of the current patch. Well, in any case, I think they have lots of things they could do and change, and I'm sure they will. And I'll be interested to see when that happens. And I will most certainly do more gameplay at some point. Definitely not with no maps, no portals as a setting. Because that was, I don't know, it had its ups and downs. We'll say that. I can't really knock it too hard, because for 75-80% of the run I didn't really mind it. It was just more time and occasionally getting lost, and you know, that was kind of that. I guess I can eat one more round of food. Why not? Just thinking stuff over. But, I mean, you know, with this all wrapped up, I'll probably pivot over and start playing more Satisfactory. So that's kind of eking its way into my sights. I'm particularly frustrated with it on the 24-hour stream, I'll be honest. So it was starting to bug me by the end. I constantly feel like I want to say that I have a sort of a good crosshair on that game and a good understanding, and then it reliably is just, I don't know, elusive, I guess. My opinion, 24 hours a bad call. Yeah, you're probably right. Bad call in general, as in like doing a 24-hour stream was a bad call, or just putting yourself out on a slow-paced game. Yeah, fair enough. You're probably right. I mean, I will say I don't think it was it being a slow-paced game that was the problem. I think I have a love-hate relationship with Satisfactory. I think I consistently think that I understand that game better and have a good grasp of what I want to do and just how it's going to work. And then it takes such a heavy time investment to do anything in the early game, which is tends to be where I am. And then I make that investment begrudgingly. And then I realized that I didn't have a very good understanding of what I needed to do. And then it sort of blows up in my face a little bit. You played every 5 minutes from the start rather than what you should do. From the start of it. Yeah, I think that is my problem. I want so badly to do things correctly from the start, but Satisfactory is a game where you've got to go through the tiers, you've got to research, you've got to get the alternate recipes, you've got to unlock all the materials, you've got to, there's layers and steps to it, and you inherently cannot plan to do your final base effectively from the start of the game. And I think that's something I struggle to fully grasp or understand. For whatever reason. I think part of it is that I'm too transfixed on comparing it to Factorio, which is a game where you can very much do that. You can as soon as you get belts and the basic inserter and basic assembler, that's it. You've pretty much got the building blocks to everything that you're going to be doing for the rest of the game. Bing bang boom. I mean, space exploration or space age DLC aside, I'm not familiar with anything coming out in that, so maybe that's going to change the whole dynamic, but not here nor there. You can't upgrading is such a pain in the ass. Well, that's the thing, yeah. I mean, I would say that's equivalent, It's like you could, but it's just going to be such a humongous pain in the ass and time investment that you might as well not do it. It would be more effective to just wait. Just wait until you have everything that you need unlocked and researched to do it. So it's partially that, and it's partially that, I've got that Factorio comparison in my mind. It's partially that I don't know the game at all. I feel like, and that's a small part of it. It's, I could just be doing better even without knowing it. Yeah, the fact that I'm not sure where the cutoff is, like I'm not sure when I've got enough unlocked and understood to really make that decision. So I think like, oh, I've got a lot of stuff. I can make some big changes, and I start doing it, and I'm like, man, it's a big undertaking. Sink the time in, and then come to realize I don't really have as much as I need. So, which kind of sucks, but again, if I just actually approach it the way it's supposed to be approached, it wouldn't be quite so bad. Name pivot points tier 5, gotcha. Yeah, so that's a ways down the line then. Yeah, and once you get to there, things open up greatly, gotcha. Do you ever, I got a question for you. Does it ever get to a point where you can consistently deconstruct large amounts of things And I don't mean with like the multi-selector for deconstruction, because I know that's there, but it is, I hate using. I really wish I could just grab a chunk of stuff and delete it all in one fell swoop. Does that ever become an option? Because that's kind of one of the biggest things that bugs me, is like I don't want to build a bunch of starter bases if it's going to end up being things that I've got to spend hours taking apart later, you know? I mean, I guess I don't have to take it apart. I could just leave it there, but I don't like leaving shit scattered everywhere. It drives me nuts. You know? Sadly not. No map reset. Nah. Oh, I mean, even just selecting like a fucking giant cube of stuff and saying, "Hey, remove everything in this," would be incredible. That is a feature I think they desperately need. There are options. Oh. So it's to unlock blueprints. Okay. I mean, I vaguely recall blueprints just a couple years ago. That's it. And just mail entire blueprints at once. Ah, okay. So you could set up like, you know, a smelter into constructor into assemblers or something, and like ratio it out in a blueprint. And then when it comes to it and you stamp how many ever of those down, you just turn around and then similarly remove all of those, you know, as their own blueprints, bringing it down from probably like 10 to 20 items to like 1. Which, okay, that kind of does alleviate some of the problems. Yeah, I really should push that. Tier 4 unlocked blueprinter Mark 1. Ooh, okay. Okay, so if there's a Mark 1, then presumably there's a Mark 2. Do they get larger? Is it like larger blueprints or more items in there? Or... Yep, okay, gotcha. Alright, well, that kind of changes things a little bit. I appreciate you telling me all that, because that gives me a lot clearer of a goal of, like, I need to progress at least until this point before I start seriously considering ripping things apart and reassembling them and you know, reestablishing a base. Okay. Yeah, that helps a lot. Because I think that's part of what drives my, you know, wanting to make and plan for a main base, right, or a final base right from the start. Because I'm like, I don't want to make 3 different starter bases. I'm not trying to build shit all over the place and like not on platforms and things. I don't want, you know, it just drives me nuts. I don't want to do all that. But knowing that that's an option, I can maybe put it off. Could push back the drive to plan a final base from day 1. Get to tier 4 within 8 hours or so. Tier 5 is like 12 hours. Gotcha. Okay, I mean, just knowing it's there is you know, I think a good enough consideration. I'm definitely not looking to be like, I gotta do it as fast as possible. You know, nothing like that. Yeah, just knowing that you can get to those and get blueprints and that's how it all works is, I think, plenty enough for me. So I will reapproach Satisfactory, I think, with that mindset, abandoning my old world. Even though I did a ton of exploring on there, it's really gonna suck. I had so many power slugs and things like that, but after the 24-hour stream, I was so frustrated with the things I had done. I was just like, I'm just gonna nuke this playthrough and start again. Also, exploring can benefit you greatly early on. Normally, tickets plus the parts you shouldn't have access to rush through the man. Gotcha. Yeah, and honestly, exploring is fun. Exploring is like don't get me wrong, like the you know, factory and resource management and everything else is great. I understand that's the main part of the game, but exploring things is just enjoyable. They did a pretty good job on Satisfactory of making interesting environments and sprinkling enemies and, you know, find something new to mine or whatever. Wrecked ships. And there's just shit everywhere. So it's a good dichotomy they got going on there, I think. It's just I tend to suck at the factory building bit. So if I suck at building, can I still play the game? I mean, I think you gotta have some level of building aptitude to play it, because you do still need a factory of some kind. I mean, I would say that you're not limited from playing it. I would say you can build a pretty crappy, quote unquote inefficient factory and get through the game just fine. I would say. So, if that's a concern, I would encourage pushing it aside if you are genuinely interested in playing Satisfactory. You do not need to play efficiently. You do not need to. It's not really that complex. You can just, you know, connect things wherever and not care about ratios and not care about looks. That is totally in the cards. So, I guess that's my main point. Check Discord? Well, in just a moment. Didn't really get a billion. It's too poorly for logistics, production chain stuff. And that's okay. I mean, honestly, that's totally fine. And you can still have a lot of fun just building and decorating and things like that. That's all. I would say that maybe is even more important to be able to hone in on. Alright, let me check Discord here. Second starter base after being able to unlock concrete. All belts are Mark 1 and production is adjusted to accommodate that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like your... you've kept it fairly simple there, which I appreciate. I think another thing I kind of... is a little bit of a pitfall for me, personally. Whenever I start building a base, I've got it weirdly in my mind that it should be self-sufficient from prior bases. So I tend to rebuild the same things that I've already got production for, because I have it in my head that this is the replacement for the old base, not that this is some addition to, you know, generate and craft new items. Which I know is not not really how I should be thinking about that. It's quite inefficient because I'm tending to build the same things I've already built in the same way that I've already built them. There doesn't tend to be a gain in productivity for me rehashing old recipes. So, but it's a hard thing to force through my thick skull. Oh, Viewbot, I wanted to mention, you probably already saw it. Did you see Dosh Washington's new video? See his Mega Base video? Yeah, I watched it yesterday. Yeah. Wild. It never occurred to me that he's never quote-unquote done a Mega Base. Mainly because his builds are usually so incomprehensibly large compared to anything I ever achieve in that game that I just sort of classified everything he did as a Mega Base. But seeing him actually go hard and make a Mega Base was a trip. Yes, I'm surprisingly much of the access to multiple nodes at once. I'm just limiting factor until tier 5 is throughput. Being limited by belts. Yeah. That's been my sort of my logical conclusion too, is that the only limiting factor in satisfactory is number of deposits. There's only so many deposits in the world. It's a big world, a lot of deposits, but there's only so many. There's a hard limit on how much iron, copper, coal, everything you're going to be able to get. So ultimately, Power Slug should go on that, and ultimately, how fast your belts move are going to limit that. Which I think is maybe on the right track. But again, I'm trying to balance that with my want to just full scale things right at the start. Which is, not productive, I think. Or was it moving stuff later on? Well, I know there's like trains. I have seen trains. I don't know if there's anything else beyond that. I know there's trucks as well, obviously, but who actually uses trucks? I mean, there are. I did watch a bit of, whoops, I'm gonna go back down. I did watch a bit of the videos that you sent me from, from Josh Joshington. It's not his name at all, but I can't help but think of that now. Trucks can be fun. See, I kind of want to try utilizing trucks. I just hate the idea of having to work around, like, fuel. Josh is the anti-Dosh. He really is, yeah. Bizarrely so. They're both incomprehensible in their own ways. Josh Joshington is like a 56-year-old man who has 8 doctorates talking about some hyper specialized like fucking phytoplankton or something. And then Josh is like a toddler with a handgun. It's just total opposite ends of the spectrum. But I can appreciate his lack of concern for any normal mechanics of a game. Josh, that is. Alright, so I think Josh been doing other games too. Yeah, I did take the briefest look at his channel, and I saw that he had some other stuff on there. I didn't look too far into it, but I was between vomiting sessions after watching his Satisfactory stuff and watching what he had done to that poor game. So it was a little hard to pay attention. Hydroneer is especially cursed. Oh god, I don't even know what Hydroneer is, but just based on the name, it sounds similar to like a factory, industrial, logistical, nightmare of a game. Simple automation of voxel mining, gotcha. Oh yeah, anything with voxel mining is asking for trouble, as far as I'm concerned. It's reminiscent a little bit. Also, Odin, you missed it earlier. I beat the guy. Fodder. I beat him. So I'm currently hauling his head back to spawn where I can shove it on a hook and be done with the run. That was the sole purpose of the stream. I honestly thought killing him would take longer and more deaths. So, just given how annoying Ashlands was on the whole, but it was a surprisingly reasonable fight. Satisfactory advice, think how much better time if you get a notion of perfection and remain some sense of neatness, yeah. For tier 5 6, now worth building large as machines alone unlock will surprise you. Okay. Okay. I will try to keep that in mind. I will try to go in with that mindset. And I definitely noticed I was trying to go too big, I was trying to go too much, I was trying to I sort of had my sights a little too high. It's just, again, it's a hard thing to kind of break out of, because I really like the mindset of if you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again, you know? If you build it correctly the first time around, you never have to worry about it again, you're good. So, going into it with the mindset of, I'm going to have to build this again, don't worry about the first time around. Just as long as it works, don't care about it. It gets you the things that you need. Good. As far as that needs to go. So, but it'll be a hard thing to shake off, but I'm gonna give it another swing, I think. Probably just skipping to tier 1 or whatever this time, so I don't have to go pick leaves and do all that. I mean, I'll still be picking leaves, I guess, but you know what I mean. Like tinking away at an iron deposit and hand smelting and stuff for any more than 3 seconds. But I think that'll be fun. That'll be fun, I think, to tackle and just really sink my teeth into. And hopefully in a way that does not drive me absolutely insane. Alright. I'm going to quickly set my spawn here. Because I remembered it was still set all the way down next to Ashlands. And I don't think there's any chance I die on the way up to the thing right now, but just in case. Tinking is fine. Once you'll discover new things and paths, some alt records will grant you your fun is to do stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta approach it with a little bit less, you know, a static mindset, I guess. I don't know. Iron out of plastic. No, come on. You're pulling my leg with that. No way. That's ridiculous. I mean, there are already some alt recipes that were a bit silly, but that is like a whole new level. Ain't no way. Iron out of plastic. I mean, I imagine plastic is used for a lot of shit. You probably wouldn't want to make iron out of that. I assume. I don't know. Kind of just want to summon a troll like in the middle of the woods or something. Sweet summer child. Did I say that? Should I for my final act, should I put the hook on or put the head on the hook and then just summon a troll into my starter home? Just obliterate the starter home. One big meteor. Nah, probably shouldn't. I should probably leave it as is. I don't know if anybody wants the world, but I may end up posting it to my Discord, so I'll hold off. I'll hold off. Maybe stick a couple of chests in the starter home. Actually, I think I have a couple in there, but throw all my gear in there. Even though I don't have any food anymore, I hate the last round. Shit. Well, oh well. I think I mentioned I was going to put down some portals too. Even if, whether or not I decided to flick portals back on, just so that people could join in and do it if they wanted to. But you know what? Fuck them. For at least the world, they can do it themselves. Gotta do the slow walk. It has been one of the journeys of all time. There were moments of despair. There were hours and hours spent, some wasted, gathering things that were never going to get used. And many of things that did. In fact, an excessive number of things that did, really. But all in all, I would say it was a worthwhile experience. And the game is not perfect, and I have my gripes, but I don't think I can downplay just how great it was. I don't think I can overstate it. Whatever. Max carry weight plus 300, movement speed plus 10%. Cool. I mean, it's alright. I don't even know what way is the wind going. The flame still burns. Oh, I was kind of hoping I'd have a cool emerald trail. Kind of a lame power. Well, whatever. Underwhelming. Let's shove all our shit in a box. Yeah, good enough. Back to the simple times. Sleep is a river and dreams are live fish. Wake up in the morning with your net empty. I sure do. And thank God for that. Well, guys, it's been an honor. 83 days. 83 days streamed. More than 83 days in total, in summation. Because there were days that I did not play, and there were days that I played other things. But nearly 3 months worth of days played. Or days streamed, whatever. Totaling up on... because I can check this. When was the last video added here? I gotta go back through and actually update the things on YouTube as well. See those there. 96 parts. Technically 95. But 96 videos. I wish I could check the total length of everything in here, but I don't actually believe that I can, unfortunately. But somewhere in the ballpark of 350 to 400 hours, I would say. But anyways, that's that. We got it done. If anybody's interested, shoot me a message on Discord if you guys want the map or anything like that. I will be back on Valheim at some point in the distant future. Maybe not that distant, but probably definitely not back on this playthrough ever again. Thank God. Good riddance. No. Satisfactory next. I will see you guys probably tomorrow night. Or, I don't know, maybe later tonight if I'm feeling it. We'll see. You what? I appreciate you, man. You've been one of the OGs. Been here since pretty much the beginning. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. You have a good one as well, man. And Odin, thanks for being here too. Thanks for hanging out in chat. Appreciate you guys a lot. All right. That's enough of me rambling. Have a good night, guys. Bye.